Thanks for staying with us. So Nigerians were minding their business when news broke that the former aviation minister under PDP, who has publicly, repeatedly condemned the government of today, was seen taking a picture with the president. Not only that, he had cross-carpeted to the APC from PDP. And he had verbally, several times, said he'd rather die than enter peace. We're talking about
none other
than Femi Fani Kayode. Honorable. Mr. Femi Fani Kayode. So that's our hot topic.
I think he's a chief, Shao.
Okay, all of the above. The truth is, this is an interesting conversation because Nigerians are in dire need of leadership. We seek true leaders. And it's important when things like this happen, we review amongst ourselves. So when we are choosing leaders tomorrow, we know what we are looking for. If we don't discuss this and leave it, we'll keep recycling these kinds of people. So today we ask, what are your thoughts about Femi Fani Kayode's recent cross-carpeting to APC from PDP?
And hobnobbing.
Add it. I mean, even before we started the show, we've been getting messages from different people on this matter. And I would really like to start, if you permit me.
Go ahead.
Somebody sent me
Before we start, can we just maybe remind people a little of some of the things he had said?
Oh, yes.
So here, this is in the papers. He said that I would never join Buhari APC. APC is Marjorie People's Congress. I would rather die than join APC or bow to Buhari. I'm committed to opposing the APC and those that are in their ranks for the rest of my natural life. And I will never join them no matter what. They are nothing but darkness whilst I stand for the light of God and truth. There can be no fellowship between light and darkness.
So the question is, in Nigeria, are our words truly our bonds? Can you stand by your word? Do our leaders stand by their words? Can we trust anything they say? So they keep telling us, we are moving forward. We are fixing the country. We are doing this. But I will keep us saying, story. Because of things like this. So the question is, how do we begin to believe our leaders? And let me hear your own initial thoughts about this crossing over first, before we even start reviewing what it means to us.
No, please first read that message.
We like the message.
Okay, let me read. So, this message is from a viewer, and he said his thoughts about Femi Fani Kayode.
Cross-carpeting.
He said he's delusioned about his political value. He says he's an inconsistent flibberty gibbet. No, this is what we have to start thinking about them. He said his fiendish equivocation is of tragic proportion. His followers can only be led one way, perdition.
Jesus.
As he has left APC frustrated once. So this one is our AP. I don't want to for you, please. It says, by his treachery, he shall win nothing but lose all. Only God shall he find. That's it. I don't want to shake it for him, please. That's wrong. Let me pick another one. He said, the milk and honey of politics that he so desperately seeks, he won't find. So this is just one person, and you see, he came from a place of pain. And I thought to myself, why is this person so pained? About your family member. How does it concern you? But it just shows how he was followed by certain people, and how some of them feel really hurt and disappointed and betrayed that he took this step. Not that because APC is a bad place, but what you said against this place and you went there. That's really the issue. So let me hear your thoughts on this.
It's like when they say a dog goes back to his vomit. So you throw it up and then you look around and then you come back. Me, I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't surprised. I've learned over the years not to really take what these politicians say, because I know that at the end of the day, there are no enemies in politics. I studied political science in school, and I know how they play that game. You will see two people at loggerheads, two different ideologies. Before you know what is happening, they are hobnobbing with each other. So I wasn't shocked when it happened, when I saw people upset and everything. I was like, oh, were you taking his word in the first place? You would be something else to even believe him. And I also know his person to be intoxicated with power. Anyone who is intoxicated with power will get it by any means necessary. They don't care who they push down. They don't care whether they say it today. Their words really don't mean much because of, they put their interest before every other thing that happens. So having someone like that who you see is so, he's just to dangle a little carrot and he changes his values. So I wasn't shocked, I wasn't surprised. I'm just, you know, wondering why Nigerians
before it comes
shouting about it.
My first thought about him, because someone sent me a video of where the things, how he was abusing Buhari. He used his mouth. I'm even surprised that the president met with him. First of all, you can cross carpet to my party, but I don't need to meet with you because he has insulted him. God,
Buhari said that received him into asphalt.
You think?
So he just, yes.
It's politics.
He lacks integrity.
Simple.
And I want to give you some words.
To buttress it.
Yes. Wait, some Wimbo there is too big for me.
So let me quote
Crookedness.
Solo Lugogunlesi. He says, today at the State House, Abuja, somebody has come and joined the APC. And the large-hearted and magnanimous president received him. Because that's the essential Buhari for you. A presidential aide, Solo Lugogunlesi said. So that was what Solo said, saying it was magnanimous of our president to receive Femi Fani Kayode. Do you agree?
I do not agree. Because I can be magnanimous and greet you from afar. If you upset me, if you insult my person, I will not receive you. Because I will look, this one is a bad person.
You came for my person, not the politics. So
No, I
read
would,
that.
So let me just... Dissembling, dissimulation, double dealing, dupery, duplicity, fakery, falseness, falsity, fraudulentness, hypocrisy, insincerity, two-facedness. No.
May I add one more?
Please.
Iberiberism.
What's that one?
Iberibe. Only Iberiberism. Greed.
So, wait, what's that thing? Onya, something.
I will tell you. I will tell you.
Don't do me like this now. Please.
So he's...
Hey,
blood of Jesus. Okay, thank you.
Because he was fraternizing with Igbo people. Let me use Igbo language to tell him what he is.
Okay, so we know this
bad person.
His megalomaniac approach to life. He wants power.
Yeah.
So we see that. But I want us to pack FFK because we've yabbed him a bit.
I'm not yabbed.
Oh, mine was not yabbed. Okay, please go ahead.
Maybe I use coolness.
But I think if I've used all the words, and I just remember my son then, if he's so upset with you, you say, bad person. So you're a bad person. Anyway, the word, for me, I'm not surprised, as you rightly said, there's an expectation of someone. He has lived a certain type of life. He has left us a pattern. Maybe it's for the young ones. We're saying it now for the younger ones who are meeting him or coming across him for the first time and are wondering what this is all about. So it's good to give people's history. You know, many times we go to the polls or people come to talk to us about either electing them or things like that. We never know their history. So it's important that it's documented, it's spoken about, so people understand what your true values are. And for me, this man just seems like a man who is a child of opportunity. He's just there for himself. And it's important for us to know that that is the sort of person that he is. So when he comes to... when he comes to canvass for vote, ask to represent you, then you would see... then you know why. And then secondly, there was a time he sat down with a group of journalists and a question was asked of him. Now you can hear, you can almost say there's a justification for how someone would open their mouth and say some things to you because they actually, who bankrolled you, meaning we know you as someone who lacks integrity, who goes to where you're being paid. And then so now we're going to ask the same question, sir. Who's bankrolling you?
Okay, so let me go on a quick break. Thank you very much, Mariam, because he said the Spirit of God led him. So when we come back, we'll discuss this matter.
We'll talk about the Spirit. We'll talk about that Spirit.
We probe that Spirit.
We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing and reviewing this bombshell Femi Fani Kayode threw on Nigerians yesterday. Now, he said it was the Spirit of God that led him. And because even this week, we discussed a lot of Spirit of God, going to your pastors, how God speaks to you, either through somebody else or through those kind of things. And when somebody like this says Spirit of God spoke to you, I mean, it could be, in fairness, because Spirit of God can speak to different people in different ways. But because, you see, I try to rationalize this. You and I don't need to understand because it's between him and God.
Maybe you say we are carnal.
And because you are carnal. But the truth is, if God really led him, could there be a purpose for this leading?
There is a tube here that says, by Ola Classic Sage, says, can we say Femi Fani Kayode's natural life has ended? So, and Marian read where he said his natural life. And then you are telling me the spirit of God. So can we say it is his spirit that moved to APC and not his natural body?
Okay, that's an angle.
That's an angle.
Okay. So let me take the Olumide's call and I'll come to this angle. Olumide, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
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 Yeah, I would like to appreciate the work you guys are doing. My quick point on FFK is that man has no values. He has no principles. No values. And I also think that it's good for youth in Nigeria to be aware who they follow. Not just following people because they have achieved a particular sector of his life. And in speaking about the spirit, you know, we have different kinds of spirit. Even in the Bible, we compare not being drunk with wine, you know, with the Holy Spirit. So there are different kinds of spirits. So it could be a spirit that has told you, but after they can be the Holy Spirit. That's my contribution.
Right. Thank you, Olumide. So I want us to, as usual, because we usually don't like putting people on pedestal here. So we've talked about him a bit. Let us pack him for a second. Let's now take this issue of your word being your born as a leader. In this week, we're discussing leadership.
Yeah.
So he's a leader. People look at, he has tremendous amount of followers on Facebook, and Instagram, and Twitter, and all that. So the point is, when your leader goes back on his word, how does that make you feel? So it's not about you going to APC. That's like 0.00% of the issue. Exactly. You don't care which party you go to.
Exactly.
What Nigerians are saying is that your word is no more
your bond.
A bond. I can't hold you to your word anymore. So how do we juxtapose this, therefore, with all the other leaders we have? Can we even trust any of them?
So, you know, the guests we had a few days ago that talked about leadership told us that politicians are not leaders. The problem we have is that we're looking for leadership from the politicians. And the people who are natural leaders, who have been made to lead, don't find themselves in politics. We have to, you know, remind them and take them there, you know, because they already have it. But those ones who are there need to come back and study how to become leaders. So it's not about having followers. It's not about being in the public space where people just, that doesn't really make you a leader. We need to start looking at the criteria that make you a leader. And one of it is integrity, excellence. One of it is your ability to say something and stand by it, come what may. And unfortunately for us, our type of politics does not, we don't do politics based on ideologies. I can't say this is the ideology of the PDP now. This is what PDP stands for, or this is what APC stands. They don't have clear-cut ideologies. Everything just models because they are putting their interests first before that of the nation. So there's no clear-cut on this is what we stand for. You can't hold anything and say this is what these people stand for, no matter what, this is where they are going to be. So till we can, you know, go into that divide and understand what forms your interest in being in power. Why do you want to be in power? Why do you want to be in a place of rulership? Let me use the word rulership. Why must you be the one there? Can you step aside and allow somebody else be there? Because you are definitely going there because of the things you want to benefit. And we've seen how we've had cases of this particular guy who has abused power, who has, you know, manipulated people, you know, all the videos are on social media, as a matter of fact.
I mean, even Femi Ojudu added his thoughts to it. He says that today is the saddest day, Ojudu, saddest day for him in his political career. That's Femi Ojudu.
Can you imagine?
So this is one of his really close colleagues. I mean, there's so many people saying, and that person says he's shameless, self-serving, an incorrigible individual. I mean, so many unprintable names he's been called. And as I said, I don't want us to focus too much on him. He's more of leadership.
I was listening to the radio today. This guy, Charles Olojode, he said that we should stop. Oh, you have a phone call?
Yes, she's been holding for a while.
Yeah,
Peace,
quickly.
Peace, are you there? I'm so sorry for keeping you. Go ahead, please.
I think this issue of Kayode is not a new thing. When you are dealing with people that are very, very funny, and you see, these politicians, they are not out for the masses. They are just out for themselves.
Yeah.
When we keep on looking up to them, we are not going anywhere. Because most of them, when they get there, you will not even see them. So why are you even talking about somebody that is not relevant to us?
Ew.
He has never won anything. He's not relevant to Nigeria as far as we're concerned. So this one is not a point of discussion.
Right.
I think we are wasting our time talking about Kayode because he's a nobody in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you very much, please, for your thoughts. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was saying, he said we should stop saying APC and PDP. That there are only two parties in Nigeria, and it is not APC and PDP. Said the parties, APC and PDP, one
And
party,
the others.
and the rest of us, two parties. And I thought about it, so I said, it is true. Because when we keep dividing them, because tomorrow they're in APC, the next day they're in PDP.
They recycle themselves.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for me,
Where is the integrity into your law?
yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, so one of the things why I like what is happening, and thank God for social media and television, is for us to learn. We need to use this as life lessons. So a lot of times we have people who are well-spoken. When they sit down here, it's happened to us, someone will sit down here and speak to us, and we're like, whoa, where have you been? You should be the president right now. And it's important that we now look people and dissect them beyond their flowery words, you know, and the confidence that they seem to exude. We need to look at the content of their character. And one of the ways to look at it is when you say a word, do you mean it? Do you have integrity? Many times we've asked people who've come here, like, how do we know who a true leader is? It's not in the many education. When people ask for pedigree, the pedigree is not about how much your father had and passed on to you. Your pedigree is in your word and your action. And obviously, people like these have no pedigree, in my opinion. No matter how much money you have or who your father used to be, you have no pedigree, you have no integrity. And it's important for the young ones. We have so many first-time voters now. These are the sort of things you should look out for. The people that say one thing and then do another thing. For me, he has even, I know you don't want us to refer to him, but he's now a shining example of what not to be.
Fantastic.
Shining example of what not to be. He's shining. Shining star. Shining star. Don't be like FFK.
In fact, that's the tagline, no?
Yeah.
Don't be like FFK.
Yeah.
That's the tagline. That's a T-shirt right there.
Hurting my liver.
In fact,
That's a T-shirt.
we are going to wear it next week.
Hurting my liver.
I'm going to do that T-shirt. Your view will wear it.
Have a call for worry. Want to put us in trouble. I hope there's not DSS outside waiting for us.
I've already given my own to
Okay, for worry. Joe,
the
please.
spirit of God.
I have 4 children, please. I did not mean. Worry,
of
good
God.
morning, Orikiroro. Please.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead. You are live.
Morayo, good morning.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm calling in protest. I've made several. Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
I've made several attempts to reach you ladies, but this is the first time
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I like what you ladies are doing, but the truth is, it's unfortunate one has to burn his head time to discuss about a man that I see should be given a discounted value. I lived and I grew up in Fani Kayode Street, a street named after the father of this man. But this is a case of someone whose father has a legacy, and the young man has only come to generate that value, demonstrate that value. The legacy of a good name that the father has worked on over time. Now, the basic truth is this. We are missing a point. A situation whereby anybody we find around the political scene will refer to him as a politician. Fani Kayode is not a politician. He's an opportunist. And he should be seen and treated as such. In fact, he is a political nomad. He's a political nomad. And when we are caught in this sort of attention, we make him seem relevant. I don't think he's someone who has a positive place in the history of Nigerian political annals. And it would be right to see him as one who is a paid merchant.
Right.
Who is asked.
Right. Thank you very much.
He's a political nomad.
I
But
like that
see, I wanted to
distinction.
go back to what Mariam said, which I thought was key. This issue of pedigree, legacy. Because this is a man that indeed had pedigree. That's the high term.
Pedigree,
Eating
education,
correct.
best schools.
Best schools in the world. So this is supposed to be somebody that everybody's like looking up to. But unfortunately, it's beyond the pedigree that backs you up. It's the character you show today. And I think that should be also a lesson to young people. Yes, you may not have the best background, you may have the best pedigree, you may even have the best pedigree. But if your character does not speak of you, your character is lacking, you are nothing.
So I think we need to start redefining pedigree.
Yes.
Thank you,
For a
Jesus.
long time, we have relied on
My daddy,
your
my
father's
mommy.
ability to create wealth and make money and then send you abroad to the best of schools and all of that. And so those children who are not opportune to come from homes like that always feel left out. Like, who is my father? Me now, I don't even have. Do you know my father? My sister, I don't even know your father. You know? But we need to start redefining our pedigree now. What should be the criteria? How do you say this person has pedigree? We need to go back to the basics that our forefathers had. Integrity, truth, honesty, ability to stand by the truth, ability to speak truth to power. Those are the things that we need to value.
But also, remember our guest, Osaz, the partner,
Yes.
Osaro, he has pedigree.
Yes.
That's pedigree
That is
speaking.
pedigree.
So pedigree can go either way.
You see, there is pedigree and there is pedigree. When you have the pedigree of
Your name.
antecedents of his father are not because they are yabbing his father here. Because the father was like that.
Okay.
No, it's true.
History.
It's here.
Let's not bring the father on here.
I'm not bringing the father. I'm only telling you.
But that's what happens.
The
He has
antecedents
political-
of the father are not far from the son.
Because you cannot
That
give
is
what you
pedigree
don't have.
now. Hey.
So it's not about the Eton College. It's not about that.
It's not about that.
Yeah,
It's about character.
You have followed your really true pedigree. And
about
that's his
character.
pedigree.
It's about
But
strength
we
of
have
morals.
failed.
Okay.
And because I keep on saying it, a man who doesn't know where he's coming from,
We'll not remember where it's
we know
going.
where he's at and where he's going to. So we have failed to realize where FFK is coming from. That's why we are all like this and we are all
Shaking.
hey,
We're not supposed to be surprised.
He's
no.
only following the true pedigree.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we will take more calls and messages. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on this FFK matter. So Reno Mokri has added his voice to this matter. In fact, the whole of Nigeria, this is a hot topic for today. He says, you say you are a friend of Sunday Igboho. You called him your brother. You even called Nnamdi Kanu your friend and brother. And one of the most courageous person you know. You see what this demon in human flesh is doing to these freedom fighters. Yet, you do this. It makes me suspicious. How can these two people you were close to, who confided in you, end up in Buhari's trap, and then you attend to his party? It looks like 30 pieces of silver.
Jesus,
at this point,
betrayal join,
I would very much hate to be your own friend and brother. This is from Reno Mokri.
Betrayal join.
You don't know what betrayal is?
Mikey, tell us.
Do you know what betrayal is? Do you know that when you are betrayed, especially by someone you are close to, you can't eat. You can't eat. You can't sleep. They will be asking you what's wrong. It will be like sickness. That is what he has done to his
followers.
allies.
His followers.
You know,
and his followers. Because people believed in this guy.
What?
When you abuse Femi Fani Kayode where people are, they can kill you.
They will come after
His
you.
followers.
Yes, they will come after you.
Yes.
But look at what he has done. Now, those ones, they are the ones calling now and saying, why are we discussing this? This is not an issue.
Penning them.
He's penning them. They are in pain. They are not sleeping. They are not eating.
Mikey. Okay, let me come to my, but let me take this call. Good morning, Yakub. Are you there?
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
And good morning to you all, especially Sister Yeni. Good morning. You are
Good
welcome
morning.
back. Morayo, You see, let me go the way of office. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised. Because the reason is this. I would be surprised one day if I heard that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu moved from one party to another. I would be highly surprised. I would be surprised if I heard that Sule Lamido of Jigawa State moved from PDP to any other party. I will be surprised. Those are the two things those are two people figure that I can mention now. And then I want to correct one impression here that all the politicians are the same thing. No, they were not. They were. Some of them are very upright persons. Let me give you one typical example. You can never compare Professor Governor Sulumu of Borno State with Fani Kayode. You can never compare both of them. Because Professor Sulumu, if you give him a leadership role, you will know that you give him someone that you can rely on. He can be able to do whatever you ask him to do. Go to Borno State, even though Boko Haram was attacking them, go and look at what this guy has been able to do in that place. So let me back to this Fani Kayode. This is a person that can never won a word in his own political area. He has never won his word. So what is political value he wants to add to APC? Rather than, though he was an eloquent person, they can be able to talk anything in terms of talking. I'm sorry to say this, but I will say this. He can say rubbish to any other party so that he can be able to downgrade political party. I'm talking about opposition now. So, Morayo, let us look inward. He joined political party. He came to APC. Let me tell you, tomorrow is not far from us. He will move again back to the PDP. I can tell you that. Go and write it down because is looking.
Thank you very much, Jacob.
He lacks integrity because he lacks integrity. If you have integrity, what he's doing? How does he want to teach his children? How does he want to teach his followers who are younger than him?
Exactly. Go ahead, Mariam.
Okay, so another thing we need to understand is this sort of behavior in the beginning has its perks. It pays. So you're able to move from one place to the other. Where you find opportunity, it pays you. But I'm happy again that I'm saying this again, that it's happening. It's playing out in front of us because it has an end date. So we have people who we question, you know, when other people say, no, these are the things you should chase. You should chase character, you should chase integrity, your what should be your bond. And you see people who do that. And we ask the question, but to what end? They don't even have anything to that.
Island house.
Exactly. There's nothing ostentatious or glamorous or materialistic that they have acquired, or material that they have acquired. But these people that are jumping from one party to the other, telling lies, peddling lies, are doing better. So people can now see that there's an end date. You will play this game for so long that one day you come, then you make a mockery of yourself. So this is where it ends, because a lot of people have always seen the beginning, the middle. Nobody has ever seen the end. And for me, I feel that it is downhill from here with such a behavior. It would not lead you anywhere. And then, as you said, what happens to those behind him? And now we're talking of his own real children. How, when they read things like that, how would they feel? They would now have to make a name separate for themselves.
And distance.
Let me take this call. Let me take this call.
I would change my name if I was his child, and I wasn't like him. I would now become Yeni, not FFK. Minus
FFK.
Without...
Take this column.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Can't even remember the name again. Good morning. Hello, are you there? Hassan, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Don't worry about the name, Mariah. Don't worry. Good morning, all of you.
Good morning.
Sir. Let me take the part of Mariam and YK this morning. Look, a clown once said, if you don't know where you are going, any road can take you there.
Yeah.
This guy, Fani Kayode, knew not where he's going to. It's a political jobber. He's looking for what he needs. Look, Obasanjo has said it all about Fani Kayode. He said, give him food. He will see your song to the high heaven. That's the type of person that guy is. You don't take him serious. He can be in any party tomorrow. He is just making his money. These are the people that live on bullying somebody to make money. Bullying one party to make money. He's not a principal person. He was brought in. Look at the history of Fani Kayode. He was brought in by Obasanjo, you understand, to lash at his opponents. That was the job. And now he's still doing the same thing. He's earning his living. Look at his family lifestyle. Marrying one girl after the other. Is that actually? Look, don't think these kind of people are the prestators. They are not the prestators at all. I'm not even surprised. It's an account. Good morning.
Thank you. Somebody sent me, I'll come to you, BC. Somebody sent me a message. It says, listen, Femi Fani Kayode will become Minister of Information when Yahaya Bello becomes president in 2023. He has 4 boys to take care of. So the truth is that as we are speaking at Yabin today, tomorrow he can become a Minister of Information. Yeah. And we say, hey, Honorable Minister, wants to come. When I start inviting him, Honorable, please,
no,
you welcome to the show.
The day you are inviting him on the show, just tell me so I won't come to the show.
So
if you
this one, I don't come, who
Mariam and Miriam.
No, I mean,
Anima.
No, Tokwe will host the show. Me, I'll be in my house. But the point is that, listen, as we are seeing this now, but in our very before, he can become minister. Or become vice president, or whatever it is. That's that. So we all, unless we make that decision, unless as a people we stand against it. But if it becomes appointed, nobody can, you can't stop somebody, the president from appointing his friend to become minister.
What I want to say that a lot of people knew him to his background and still chose to follow him. They knew his pedigree, they knew his character, they knew the flaws in the character, and they still chose to follow him. Everything we are saying today, there are still people who will die for him, who are still following him. We need to start questioning the sort of people that inspire us. We need to start asking questions. When you see somebody and you see and you present the sort of people that inspire you, we need to start looking at you 2 times. So this kind of person, knowing who he is, still inspires you. You yourself, we need to check you. You have a problem.
He's had about 4 divorces or something like that.
Thank you. So we need to start holding each other accountable. We need to start asking those questions. Don't just feel because this person has money, this person is okay, this person can speak, spray. This person should be a leader. We need to start asking questions. Yes, because with everything we are saying today, there are people that are still lining up for this guy.
He will still speak very soon.
And there are the people that will vote him if peradventure he comes up and he wants to become this and that. Yeah, peradventure. So we need to question.
If they speak that Can you remember when he insulted that journalist? Would you sit down? Can you imagine?
Imagine that.
But I asked the question about the president receiving him. If you were the one, would you receive him?
Never.
I said, I will. I'll receive him as an example. He also said that the president graciously received me. The grace is on the president, and not on him. It's important that sometimes, you also mentioned...
Me, I will not be gracious.
Yeah. So you also mentioned that after knowing him, you still bring him into the fold. They know him and they use him as a tool. You understand that he's vocal. And, as the last caller said, you will use him for
the other people.
For what he is. Wow. And that's what it is. And for me... If someone like that comes back, I will take that person.
And use him?
I will, yes.
No,
for what he
being there is already a lesson.
It's a lesson for a lot of people.
If he will learn now.
No, he has learned.
No, people like this don't learn.
People will learn.
People to learn from what is happening.
Because you assume that the people have shame. We are beginning to lose shame here. They'll say, after all, I can mess up and do everything. And once I go and tell them I'm okay, I'm sorry, they will accept me.
We are the emperor that was naked and did not know he was naked.
Let me take this call. Magaji, are you there? We have to wrap up because our guest is in the studio. Good morning. Go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, so I've just been watching this program with my dad, and I can tell you that the pain that can be seen on the face of my dad and even me is something you can't explain.
Wow.
The opposition party that is supposed to be keeping this present government on their toes is not doing anything. And the only people that have been giving us hope have been Femi Fani Kayode and Rino Omokri. And if this morning we are waking up to the news that this guy has defected to the APC, then I don't know what's left for us.
There's no hope.
Because these are the only people that have been giving us hope. It's really, really painful. I'm actually surprised. And even now, I'm thinking that we can just wake up tomorrow and even Rino Omokri may just move to the APC. This is really, really bad for Nigeria. And I don't know what the future holds for us as youth and what we have
Thank you, Magaji, for bringing that up. Because I remember, YK, when PDP was in power. Oh, my goodness. AP was such a strong opposition. You could feel, I mean, when they brought this change campaign, even before the change, Lai Mohammed was almost every day on TV. You could see the pressure from APC.
He wasn't
there was something, there was an A-B class. You could see the energy. But when APC entered, people just went comatose. We didn't hear them.
They've been trying to stifle them now.
16 years like
Yes.
that.
They've been trying
So
to
we
stifle
saw
them.
APC get stronger, did everything. They had their propaganda. We saw it was propaganda.
Because
but we
they were allowed to.
What you are even missing here is
They were allowed
listen
to.
to that Magaji's call.
Yes.
Pain.
He's in pain.
Oh,
Betrayer.
Yes.
This is
Okay,
somebody
if
who
we
gave
eat
him
today,
hope.
Will he eat today?
Magaji,
have asked
he said him and his father. It's not just him. It's him and his father that are not eating today. He said he's talking with pain. He gave them hope.
I could feel it.
Yeah. I was almost in tears. Oh, no.
So, so he's saying that he's afraid also that, other people that they look up to may move to the party as well. And that is what I was talking about, how they use you.
Okay.
So the part, for whether you like it or not, it's a powerful statement for the party. It means that everything you have said against APC, you have swallowed it. It is not true. APC is a better party. I mean, based on his words, if you had called something black before, and now you've gone and you have called it white, you have washed it off of all the things that you said that were attached to it, and you have now presented it. Now what you stand as a symbol, presenting it as a better party than what you thought.
But what does
now
that
he
say?
also mentions that, in the past 2 years, he's seen some of the improvements of the party. Do you know, that's like free PR that you have just gotten.
Yes, so
now, that's a party. We're not talking of human beings. A human relationship is
different. Okay, I
But
get
now we're
it.
talking of party who, all they're trying to, what the parties try to do is get people to vote, get people to want to
So
be part
whatever
of
brings
it.
them the numbers,
That's it.
because they all don't have an ideology.
Exactly.
I have to wrap up on this.
Exactly.
because
Sorry, Murayo Jare.
Sorry.
Is it number? It's about integrity.
Yes, nice. About
Everybody
number.
doesn't have integrity inside
Even
there.
if you say anything and you come back, as long as you're going to help us bring people to our
Eh,
side,
oh.
it's okay. It means you two should be checked. You are not
Let me end this segment with this message from Helen Essien. She says, FFK doesn't shock me. A man unstable in his ways cannot control his home. Always in the news for the negative reasons. The cautious fellow who puts his mouth in motion before his brain is engaged in gear. Nigerians should not be surprised at all, Helen Essien. I thought that really sums up what we're saying here, that the truth is that we are doing not like FFK. What was that t-shirt again? Not like,
Don't be FFK.
or not like FFK.
Not like,
Or don't be, or mind, whatever. So, because we are learning as young people what not to be.
Yes.
Who not to be.
Who not to be.
It's not about the English you
FFK.
speak. It's not so much, again, about the pedigree. Pedigree is good. Pedigree can work for you, just like we saw with Osaro.
Or against you.
It can work with you, for you, it can work against you.
No, pedigree is pedigree.
The right pedigrees now is what we should be.
He is only following his own pedigree.
Yes, okay, so everybody has
If
their own
me,
pedigree.
I come and go and kiss Buhari tomorrow, you will know that
Something has happened to you.
They do check my DNA.
YK.
Go and check. You will have to check my DNA. I am not the last time.
Okay, if you go
DNA.
let me tell you, if you go in Pat and Brown on the stage, nobody will question you.
And they don't worry about that one.
That's a different
Can I even go on stage in pants and bra? He didn't go on stage in pants.
Pants.
No, they just took videos of him in his rehearsal at home.
So if you are rehearsing in brown pants, we know it's your pedigree.
But that one is a different pedigree.
That was it. Don't mind her. We are talking ideology. We are talking ideology. Come, you are Akabash Sota. Don't talk rubbish here.
I have pedigree.
Exactly.
I have correct pedigree.
We have Teddy.
Yes,
Okay.
we are building our
If Buhari does our kisses Buhari tomorrow.
Yes.
My father will turn in his grave.
Oh, exactly.
DNA for her.
My father will turn in his grave.
Exactly. So he's following his pedigree. So pedigree works.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just that Osas you had was following his own pedigree. He was talking truth to power.
Yes.
That's his own
Do you
pedigree.
understand his own pedigree?
Yeah.
You follow.
I think you should
So build your own
Pedigree.
pedigree.
If
do
you
not
don't
be
have,
afraid to be the only one, Seth. When you are standing for your truth, do not be afraid to be the minority.
Yeah, true.
That's all we can take on this segment.
Pay me.
Finished. Let's
Calm
go on
down,
the
calm
break.
Finish forever, please. Wike.
When we come back, our guest takes the stand. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.